Welcome to the Carbon Box Media YouTube channel. My name is Brandon. I'm one of the co-founders here. I'm with my other co-founder, Carlton, and today we are going to be talking specifically about keyword research that you're not doing that's costing you and not allowing you to rank properly online. So before we get into the topic, Carlton, give a brief introduction about yourself, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. My name is Carlton Clark. I'm the head of SEO and website design here at Carbon Box Media. I've been in the marketing industry for the last 15 years now. We work with e-commerce brands, local businesses, online brands. SEO is SEO at the end of the day. So we can help you rank on Google.
Sweet. Amazing. Okay, let's dive into the topic. Let's get it rolling. Carlton, talk to us about these keyword research strategies that people are missing out on.
Yeah. So what people are missing out on when it comes to keyword research isn't just a strategy or like a tactic rather, but it's like a whole strategy of how do you actually do keyword research. So we look at keyword research by grouping types of keywords into pillars. Now, what that allows us to do is go really deep and find tons and tons of valuable keywords for your brand and your product. So we actually look at your brand first, and then we look at Google. What most SEOs do is they try to go to keyword research tools and find keywords, and then use that to inform their decision. But what they end up excluding is the actual keywords brands should work to try to rank for. So basically, Brandon, we have 5 keyword pillars when it comes to SEO.
Okay, do you want to break down those pillars?
Yeah, absolutely. Just waiting for you to ask. So the first pillar is branded keywords. So branded keywords, pretty simple. It's keywords around your brand name, right? Now, these are the easiest keywords to rank for in SEO, branded keywords. So I'll give you some examples for e-commerce brands. People will look up Nike reviews on Google, right? They'll look up Nike customer support. They'll look up, maybe you have specific product lines that are branded as well, and people will look those up. So again, these are easier to rank for keywords, but what most brands end up doing is they don't create the proper pages. So you should have a reviews page on your website, regardless of what kind of brand you are. A reviews page on your site, it's going to do a ton to help your rankings. It's also going to do a ton to help your conversion rate. So that's the first pillar, branded keywords. The second pillar is quite simply what you sell. So these are the products and or services that your brand sells. And again, the reason we create these 5 pillars is because it makes it really easy for brand owners who are not SEO experts to actually help us with the keyword research process. There's always a ton of knowledge in their heads about their brand that we need to extract. And this process helps us do that. So what you sell keywords, these are product or service based keywords that are directly related to what people are searching when they want to buy from you, right? So for example, if you sell coolers, for example, your main keyword, of course, is going to be coolers, right? But we could actually break it down even further. So we call these attributes. So coolers might have different sizes, right? And each different size is a keyword you can try to rank for individually. They might have different colors, for example. They might have different shapes and sizes, there are portable coolers, for example, coolers with wheels. So we could just sit here and think of hundreds of different attributes. The deeper you go, the more likely you are to rank, because people are going on Google and searching, crazy things. They're not just searching for coolers, but they're looking for a portable cooler that is branded to my high school, my daughter's high school, and I can also wear as a backpack, right? So if that's what you sell, then you need to have a page that is targeting that as well. For a local business, if you're a plumber, then you probably also do 24-hour plumbing as well. So you want to have a page for emergency plumbing as well, right? You want to have a page for plumbing, and I'm not a plumbing expert. Let's just say people are looking up, hey, I have a plumbing issue in my bathroom, and they Google that versus the plumbing issue in the kitchen. So it's all the same service, plumbing, but it allows you to go a lot deeper.
Dang, there's so much knowledge here and so much to just dive into. What is the third pillar?
Yeah, the third pillar is who you serve. And this is where, to me, SEO gets really fun. So who you serve, these are persona or demographic based searches tied to your audience. Okay, so what that means is, so somebody might look up coolers, for example, on Google, but they might also look up coolers for golf or coolers for skiing, right? So again, it's the same product, but you look from the customer's perspective. They're looking up that product for a specific use based on their lifestyle, right? So another easy example would be maybe supplements, right? Supplements for men, supplements for women, supplements for pregnant women, supplements for men over 40, right? These are all different personas. So we have attributes and then we have personas. And our job as marketers is to create as many different personas as we can and find the ones that actually have a lot of search demand on Google and other search engines.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Pillar number four.
Number four would be the problems that you solve. So the fourth pillar, these are pain driven searches that basically, they start the buying journey when somebody is problem aware. So they know what the problem is, but they actually don't know what product's going to solve it for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are five pillars of awareness in the marketing world, from people who are unaware to people who are problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and then brand aware, right? And these principles apply to every single marketing channel, but where people don't talk about that a lot is with SEO. And again, how using these five pillars, it can go really deep. So some examples of problem-based keywords would be, let's use supplements again. Um, I get really tired after eating lunch. What
Mm-hmm.
supplements fix that, right? So somebody realistically would go to Google. They think supplements might solve the problem. They don't know which ones do, and they know what the problem is that they get really tired, they have a crash after lunch, right? That's a pretty common problem. So you can rank for those keywords as well, and get that problem-aware audience to your website as well. The thing about this audience, it's always going to be the biggest audience, people who are problem-aware, especially for very niche brands, niche products or solutions, where people, it's not the first thing that comes to mind. If you have a plumbing issue, you call the plumber, right? But what do you do when you can't sleep,
Yeah.
you know, 6 hours consecutively? You don't immediately know what the solution is, right? So that's why your brand needs to rank for these problem based keywords.
Let's go to pillar number five. Talk to me about pillar number five.
Yeah. So pillar number five, this is your mechanism, your unique mechanism, or your unique selling proposition, however you want to look at it. So we're going to flip problems on its head. How do you solve those problems, right? So, for example, let's use coolers. So what you sell coolers. Who you serve coolers for, all outdoor lifestyles, right? The problem you solve is someone might go to Google and say, my drinks get hot after 2 hours. That's the problem, right? The mechanism or USP is that maybe your cooler is double lined, for example, right? Now, our
Mm-hmm.
job again as marketers is to find all these USPs that the market is aware of, and then rank you for them if your product matches that, right? So it might be you have a double lined cooler which has double the cooling time, right? That's a USP. So if somebody's aware that they want a cooler that's double lined because they know the
Mm-hmm.
benefits, and then you have a page ranking for that keyword, you think they're going to buy it when they land on that page? Absolutely, right?
Sure.
These are your
Yeah.
highest converting pages, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is really fun. We can go really deep for brands with mechanism and USP based keywords. So, with unique mechanisms, I'll just share a few more examples, right? So, if you sell a consumable product, all your ingredients are unique selling propositions, right? People might go to Google and look up supplements with magnesium, supplements with vitamin K, whatever, insert. And also another example would be what you don't have in your product, right? Often that's a lot stronger of a selling point, especially with our demographic, right? People are looking for clean food, clean household items, right? So if that's a thing with search demand, people might be looking up um, BPA free water bottles, for example, right? That's a pretty
Mm-hmm.
common one, but that's an example of, hey, we don't have that in our product. So we can create a page telling the market that and rank it on Google.
Wow. Yeah, it's just crazy to me how much there is to do on a website, and I think a lot of brand owners sometimes, take this stuff for granted, and they're just kind of like they
Yeah.
think that if they just have a good product, everyone's going to know about it and buy it, but like you really have
Yeah.
to put the effort in and like make sure people are finding you. So this is all so valuable. Do you have anything else to add specifically on point five?
I don't have anything else to add on point five, but I think we can mix in a little bit of AI because that's what people are always thinking about. And you brought up a really good point, Brandon, on how your products aren't just going to sell themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good segue into two things. Number one, AI, and then number two, conversion rate optimization. So the reason I came up with these pillars is number one, to really break down SEO, make it simple for non-SEOs. But number two, is because what I realized is that LLMs are really, really good at reading information all across the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, standard SEO is you just kind of take pillar number two, the what you sell keywords, and then leave it at that, right? But now with LLMs, people can go to ChatGPT and say, I want a purple laptop case or protector that's waterproof, but not too purple. I don't want it to look like Prince, but just tastefully, maybe a lighter purple. It needs to be waterproof, durable, but also very lightweight, and I need to be able to fold it when I take it off so it fits in my bag, right? That is like a whole paragraph, right? typically with Google
Yeah.
searches, people might type in like 5 or 10 words. And the thing with Google is that unfortunately, Google is not really good at taking all different attributes. Remember the attributes I talked about? Usually, Google can
Mhm.
only find you a product with like 2 attributes at most. Um, it could find you like the make and model of a car and the color, for example, right? But for a lot of items, Google doesn't have the capacity to go very deep. But LLMs can. An LLM can do multiple searches at once to find you the purple case, 1,000 purple cases, and then do another search to find the ones that are durable and lightweight, and then do another search to find the ones that are actually lighter purple, and then provide you a result. So if you want to win with LLMs, you have to use all 5 keyword pillars and have really rich, detailed information all over your website.
Mhm. So it really becomes a game of providing the most information on your product from every angle
Mhm.
possible, so that when people
Yes.
are searching, especially through LLMs, you are the brand popping up for specifically what people are looking for. And I guess that doesn't mean either too, because I think there may be some like desire for people to like maybe like stretch the truth a little bit and like, oh, maybe my product offers this. And I
Yeah.
think truthfully, like you should be 100% truthful about your product, what it is and what it
Yeah.
offers, because there's people out there looking for exactly that, so just give the
100%.
internet everything.
Yeah, dude, I was literally thinking the same thing. That people think
Mhm.
SEO is like about gaming the system and like what
Mhm.
hack, how many backlinks do I need to rank? How many words do I have to have on the page? No, no, SEO is literally about making people's lives better. When you do that, because you're making Google better, their product better. That's what Google wants. They're going to reward you if you do that. So as you just said, man, if you are being descriptive and truthful about what you offer and helping the right customer find you, Google wins, the customer wins, and then you're going to win at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love that. Would it be possible with you to just go through, let's just pick a random website and just do like an example keyword research together?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So this will be 2 parts then, or part 2A and part 2B. We're going to do keyword research for a
Hmm.
local business. And then we're going to do keyword research for an online business. And I'll show you guys these pillars in action. All right. So yeah, this is some keyword research we did for a local business. Cool. So here are the 5 keyword pillars again: branded, what you sell, who you serve, problems you solve, and then your mechanisms. So this brand, for the viewers, what they do is they sell and install generators, backup generators. So your power goes out, especially if you live somewhere with bad weather like snow, harsh winters, happens pretty frequently. So the power goes out. It's very smart to have a generator installed to make sure you still have power, right? And all the steaks in the fridge don't expire and go bad. So let's look at the first pillar, the branded keywords. So this brand is called Empire Energy Construction. So that's pretty simple. We want to rank for that. And then for local businesses, sometimes people will, and all businesses, people will look up the brand owner, especially if you're going to call a contractor over to your house. You're trying to vet them out. Are they real? Are they a scam? You get their name and you go straight to Google to see if they're a real person, right? Number one, and if you can trust them. So you might be well served to have some information online about yourself, maybe a basic about page on your website, listing your name, maybe the other people in your company to build trust. So I'll reiterate that SEO and conversion rate optimization are heavily linked together, right? The same things that help you rank are also going to help you convert more visitors to your site. So that's the first pillar. The second is what you sell. So I have this broken down by their main service keywords and then their other services. So again, they install generators. That's their highest demand service. But I also found some synonyms as well for generators. So basically, the same page is going to rank for this keyword, but also standby or backup generator installation. So when you're doing your keyword research, you have to be very, very pragmatic and pay attention to detail. You don't want to try to rank multiple different pages for keywords that have the same meaning, right? They're different keywords, but they mean the same thing. So you try to group them together and rank them on the same page. Then the next from what you sell, we have the other services, right? So again, if you're an e-commerce brand, you have your main product, maybe your best seller, but then you have all your other products and categories. But for this local business, they do repair. They do something called generator transfer switch installation. And they also do emergency generator installation. And you might say that emergency is the same thing as regular generator installation, but when it's 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve, uh, it's an emergency, right? And what we find, this is a concept called search intent. Google's whole job, they spend billions of dollars, is making sure that when you Google something, the right page comes up, right? So Google knows that some brands don't do emergency generator installation, right? Some businesses don't. So if your business doesn't, Google's going to try not to rank you. But if your business does and you don't list that, Google doesn't know, right? So that means you have to have a page for that as well. So that concludes the what you sell. The next we have is who you serve. So for them, we found two different types of who you serve keywords. The first would be types of properties. So you have home generator installation, you have commercial, and then you also have industrial generator installation, right? So industrial might be a factory, right? A factory probably needs a different kind of generator than a home does. So again, if I run a factory and I'm scrolling through websites and I'm looking through all these different brands and I go to ABC generator installation and Chuck generator installation, and none of them tell me they do industrial generator installation, I might not call them, right? And Google might not rank you. So you have to be very detailed when it comes to finding out the different personas and then addressing them on your site. The next for a local business is going to be the locations they serve. So whether or not you have a physical office that customers come to, or you are a service area business that goes to the customers, you have to address where you can go, right? So for this brand, they're located in Lake Tahoe, actually close to where Jordan grew up, our other business partner. And they serve both sides, right? So in this scenario, somebody might live in Nevada and need generator installation, and Google will just automatically assume that since you're in California, you don't go to Nevada, right? But if you do, then you got to make sure that you address that on your website for both Google and the end customer. So I'll pause there. Any questions, Brandon?
Oh, dude, you're killing it. This is super detailed and very helpful.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Cool. So the fourth pillar will be the problems you solve. Now, sometimes you can find a ton of keywords and problems and really go deep. Sometimes you can't, right? For this case, for this brand, we actually found somebody on Reddit that Google or looked up what to do during power outage in Lake Tahoe, right?
Yeah.
So if your brand helps people with power outages, then it's a great idea for you to try to rank for that keyword and build what's called local authority. The second would be that this is a brand of a generator that they install called Generac, right? So people often want to know the cost to do business with you. So this is really important for local businesses, by the way. Always, if you are able to publish your prices, show them on your website, because people are searching them on Google for every service. How much does plumbing install cost? How much does a generator installation cost? How much does it cost to replace my radiator, right? And Google needs to provide people with that information. So if you do it, then your website will rank and people will click on your site. And then another, just kind of a psychological trigger, if you will call it that, is that when people need a service and they know how much it costs, they're more likely to do business with you, right? Rather than kind of go through smoke and mirrors and wait. If you just tell them the cost, you're going to see a higher conversion rate. So that's the problems you solve. The fifth would be your mechanisms again. So for them, the mechanism is that or USP would be the different brands of generator they sell, number one. So some people might know the brand they want and just need an installer. So they're going to go ahead and Google Kohler or Generac installer, right? And then for the USPs, I saw on the website, they have something called a smart generator. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you can control it from your phone, right? But again, that's a USP that they can leverage and try to rank for on Google.
Awesome, man. I feel like this is so detailed, and sometimes people just don't do this work. So this is really cool. Thank you for breaking that down.
No, of course, man. I'm really proud of this system. It's very simple, but it allows our team to go really deep, and they do an awesome job with our clients doing this keyword research. And then when our clients see it, they love it. We have all types of clients, from clients that are just like, yeah, just do the work and rank me on Google. And then we also have clients that want to be very involved, but they don't want to break any eggs or mess up our work. And this is really easy for clients who have a lot to share, but they just don't know what to share. And they can kind of come in and if you could use this as a business owner without having a lot of SEO knowledge and really improve the quality of your website.
Let's jump into the e-commerce example.
Cool. Yeah. So we actually have an online business, but this applies for e-commerce as well. And we can do two more, and I'll jump through these both to kind of serve everybody. So for this online business, this is an online therapist, right? So they offer therapy to people online all over the country. So branded keywords, of course, are just going to be your brand name. Again, we have phone number, we have reviews, we have the name of the practitioner, so on and so forth, right? And then we have the what you sell keywords again. So people need eating disorder therapy, or these different types of therapy, right? That they offer. Next is who you serve. So we have the persona based for eating disorder therapists for adults, adolescent eating disorder therapy, right? And then so on and so forth, right? So we can have as many different personas for therapy. You have adults, you have adolescents, then you also have kind of like the types of problems that people have, which can kind of segue into problems you solve, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you have a keyword that you're not sure where it goes. Don't stress over it, right? But sometimes they can go both ways. So the problem you solve might be people Google help for binge eating. So a condition called anorexia, right? That's an eating disorder, right? So that's the problem that you help people solve, right? Maybe someone's struggling with emotional regulation. So again, these are all the problems that you solve and for therapy. I used to do SEO for a SaaS company for therapy, and we would write dozens of blogs every single week because there's just so much to talk about in this niche when it comes to problems you solve. And that's often the case for online businesses is there's a lot more to talk about when it comes to problems that you can address and rank for on Google and then actually get conversions from blog posts and pages like that. Then the next would be your mechanisms, your USPs. So just to give you another example, for a therapist, it would probably be the types of therapy that they offer, right? So DBT is a type of therapy, right? There's a lot of different types of therapy, and you want to be very clear on your website, all the different types of therapies and treatment options you have, right? If you're a therapist, if you're a coach or a consultant, you want to have pages for the different types of people you help, the problems you help them address, right? Or let's say maybe you're an online accountant, right? Then your mechanisms might be the way you do accounting, or maybe that people are Googling AI accounting, right? Company that uses AI. You want to find out those different mechanisms and USPs and then rank for them.
That's great, man.
Cool.
Appreciate you breaking that down.
Of course, of course. Yeah, let's look at a cannabis company now. So this is a company in Florida. They actually are a hybrid business. They have local, they have dispensaries, and then they also ship throughout the state of Florida. So the branded keywords, again, of course, are going to be the brand name, reviews, locations, phone number near me, the basic stuff. Okay. Next is going to be what you sell. So you want to make sure you list every single type of product you sell. And another thing we look at is this location modifier. You see Florida at the end of it. Technically, that's a persona based keyword. But since they only serve the state of Florida, it doesn't make sense to try to rank for cannabis flower nationwide. In a general SEO tip, the more specific you can be with your keyword research, the better you're going to rank, right? So you don't want to be too broad with your keywords, especially as you said earlier, Brandon. Don't try to rank for stuff that you can't actually do for your customers, right? But sometimes brands don't think about it that way. They just are lazy and they just say cannabis flower, but be specific. You only can sell in Florida, so say Florida and Google will reward you, right? So that's what you sell. And this is how you can break it down on your website. Very simple. And then you could also you can go a little deeper and have pages for specific strains, right? So in this what you sell category, you can go really deep. And I create, again, different attribute groups. So you might have strains, you might have types of vapes that you sell, right? That, again, if the market is aware of the different vapes you sell, you have to have pages for them so Google knows, number one, and it can rank you for those what are called long tail keywords. A long tail keyword is anything with 2 or more attributes, basically. So it might be plumber in Florida, right? Or licensed plumber in Florida. That's 3 different attributes put together. That's a long tail keyword. The next we have is, again, who you serve. So since they are a hybrid business, we have their different locations, which we've already gone through for the local example, but they also have persona-based keywords. So cannabis for back pain, Florida. We found that keyword actually has some search demand, right? And then anxiety, sleep, inflammation, right? So you can say these are problems you solve, but these are kind of personas, right? There's a huge population of people who have back pain, right? And are now looking for alternate solutions like cannabis, right? So that's just one kind of persona group that we can find. And if we go deeper, we can find even more and more different types of personas. And then fourth, again, we have problems you solve. So a problem is people don't know where to buy legal cannabis in Florida. They don't know what the best dispensary is in Florida. They don't know the cannabis laws. They don't know the difference between indica and sativa, for example. They also don't know how to choose cannabis products, right? So this is all things you can address on your website through a blog post, through an FAQ page, on the product pages specifically. And another cool thing we do for a lot of our clients is we create quizzes, interactive quizzes. You land on the website, and if we see that your customer demographic needs a lot of information to choose, what happens is people suffer through what's called decision fatigue and they end up making no decision at all, right? So if you have a quiz on your website, it can help people find your product that they want to buy a lot faster, increase your conversion rate. And this is the start. So we start with SEO and then we transition to CRO by answering the question that every online business needs to answer. How do I choose which product to buy, right? And then lastly, we have your mechanism and USP. So a mechanism is Florida grown cannabis, right? There's a market for Florida grown cannabis, not just because they live in Florida, but people actually just want Florida grown cannabis, right? Organic cannabis, lab tested, full spectrum. ethically grown cannabis. These are all USPs where if these are true for your business, then you should either have pages for them if these keywords have enough search demand, or just sprinkle them in throughout your website. So yeah, there you have it, Brandon. We have a local, we have a kind of online business that serves people. They don't sell a product, but they are online. And then we have an e-commerce brand that does, actually ship products to their customers.
Wow. Awesome, man. I appreciate you breaking that down. We'll wrap up here by saying thank you so much for watching this. If you need SEO help or CRO help, any digital marketing help, book a call with us below and we'll be happy to help you. Comment if you have other topics you'd like us to cover, and we'll cover those in future videos. Carlton, anything else to say before we let the viewers go here?
And I really had a great time. It's fun to share this stuff. SEO is my passion. It's what I love to do. It's what I like to do every single day, man. So I'm happy to be here.
Take care. Till next time.